I want to start doing is making sure that I keep thinking of checks and captures and threats. And not just checks on the king, but check on any piece on the board. Because any piece on the board could be checked or pinned or captured. And it's good to keep that in mind. And I want to embrace the learning process. I want to embrace learning how to play chess and not try to, rush it. And, I'm kind of looking for a magic bullet. Well, the magic bullet is to think of every piece and see how that piece is going to move and look at checks and captures and threats on every single piece on the board before any move and not get emotional and not make impulse moves, but emphasize the learning process that every chess player has to go through. It doesn't matter what their level is, and everybody's trying to improve. I know that when my dad taught me how to play chess, I don't know, 5 years old, six, that he was very careful to work with me on the wins and losses and never made me feel bad about losing a game. And for some reason, after a while, I started winning about half the games. I learned later that that was his strategy to help me learn to play chess. But each defeat is an opportunity to learn. Analyze the game, identify mistakes, focus on improvement rather than beating yourself up and doing something along that line. So I don't want to do that. I want to do something a little different than that. So I want to keep that in mind as we go through this. This will be a learning and strategy game. I'm going to work really hard to myself in check and make sure that I look for weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. I want to look for checks and captures and checks, captures, and threats. I want to do that, which is certainly something a lot of other chess players have said. I've got such great comments and support in this channel. It's just so humbling that y'all are doing that. That's amazing. Thank you so much. So a lot of the ideas that I'll be sharing today are ideas that somebody shared on the channel, plus things I've seen in other chess channels as well. So let's get this in mind. I'm going to do my opening, and it's not a book opening. I probably will be finding a book opening that I like and running with that at some point. I haven't done that yet because I'm playing at a lower level than I. Look at that. He shouldn't have done that. This is level 5. He shouldn't have let me take 2 pawns for his 1. And maybe that was a strategy on his part. I don't know. And now he did that. I don't know why. Oh, that's why. That makes him get my pawn. Very nice. Very nicely done. All right. So this level is much higher, far more strategic. And now I need to go through. I've just been playing. I've just been moving pieces around. I haven't been looking at checks, captures, and threats. So what's the threat to my king? This entire corridor is a threat to my king. I can move my bishop up here in store to protect it. I could move my knight here and have my knight on knight. That's not a bad plan, except it keeps this bishop from being able to get out and do something. I could move this bishop up here and trap his knight. I like that idea. I can move my knight there, but it would be taken by... There's 2 pieces on that square. I can move it here, and if I could figure out a way to protect that square, I could fork his king and his rook, which would be powerful. And if at the same time, if I could check this square, it would be checkmate. So if I had a knight sitting here, which isn't unreasonable, and then I was able to put a knight there, it would be checkmate. So I really like that idea. I don't see a way to do it. Oh, yeah, I don't see a way to do it. It's tempting, very tempting. At any rate, so I can do that. I can move my queen up. I could take that pawn because it's grief. If I get that pawn, it is checkmate. Let's go for it. Surely he'll see that. Well, it's not going to be checkmate anyway because he moved that bishop. Had he not moved the bishop, it would have been checkmate. Now if I could put a knight right there, that would be checkmate. Not checkmate, but I could fork his king and his queen. So let's go ahead and If I could put this here, it would threaten that knight. I could get this out. I could get this out. I can't do anything with my rooks. My queen's already out there. Probably in danger. This piece could come up here and put my queen in check. This could go here. Nothing. I can put this here and threaten this knight. So the way I figure out if I want to put a knight here, I backtrack. There it would be a place for my knight. So if I put this knight here and there, if I get 3 moves with my knight, so I'm tempted to do that. If I do it without thinking, it's impulse. So I do here. I like it. I do there. I like it. It's protected by my bishop. My king is still just hanging out. This could come over. That's unprotected. Protected by his queen, his knight. Okay, so we're going to go down here. And we're going to go here. If he doesn't do something, I will be able to fork his king and his queen. So he did that. And I'm going to go ahead and go here, because I don't think he can do anything with his... Oh, right. He can threaten my... I can't put my knight there anymore. Look at that. I can do this, though. And he'll have to do something. Oh, that's great. Okay, so what should I take? I'll take his knight, and he can't take it with his queen. He can take it with his other knight. That's not a bad plan. See what he does. Oh, we could trade queens. Oh, how frustrating. How frustrating. All right, now then, no impulse moves. Checks, captures, and threats. So my queen is in jeopardy. So my normal way of playing chess would be to say, oh, no, I've got to do something. No, I don't. I don't. I could sacrifice the queen for some strategic reason. I'm not going to, because my queen isn't protected. So that's frustrating. I could move my queen here, and this pawn would take it. I can move it there. The knight would take it. I can't take that because his queen is there. I almost took that pawn. And now look, his queen is there. So I can go here. That's in check. There's in check. There's a check. Wow, I basically have lost my queen. I didn't see that. So if I hadn't done the checks, captures, and threats thing, if I hadn't decided to breathe and reflect and stay positive, I would have done that. So isn't that something? So I could take this and do it. I think probably I'm just going to have to sacrifice my queen. So I can move this up. I can move this. I can move that there. That doesn't help anything. Move my pawn, my knight there, my bishop there. Nothing I have really makes sense to do. If I put my knight there to protect my queen, we just take it with his bishop. Wow. All right. So let's try it again. Here's in check by my queen. There's in check by my queen. There's in check. There's in check by my queen. There's in check for my queen. This pawn protects all these. The knight protects that and that. This square is not in check with the queen. So I could move there, which would let me threaten this bishop if I found a way to do it. So I could move there. I can't move here. That's a temptation, and the reflecting is what found that. So if I trade, I have a few pieces up. 1, 2, 3, 4 pawns. So I'm one piece up. So that gives me, one of my favorite things when I'm a piece up is just start trading things like crazy and winning the game that way. So let's go here and he moved his king over. I was going to put his king in check. It's just awful. It's just hard. It's just hard to put his king in check. I moved that up without thinking. I'm not sure that was a good move. I could go ahead and put my knight here, and then he would probably take with my... No, he would get my queen. You know what? I'm gonna go back here, and I'm gonna trade queens. Let's just do that. All right, and then let's start getting these pieces out and get them developed. So I can move here. It's not protected. I can move this up one, but then I can't get my knight out. I don't like that idea. This is not protected. I probably need to move it somewhere. These are okay. I could start moving this up and causing trouble. Although if I get here, he has two pieces on it. His bishop and his rook. So I think my best bet is to move this up and then castle and then start developing these other pieces. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So his king, I can put him in check with this bishop if I ever get a chance. I can put him in check with this knight. If this bishop moved out of the way, I would be able to put his king in check, but it's not really doing me any good. All right, I'm going to get this bishop out. Of course, he can come and then he does that. That's, you know, that's wise. So I will go here. So I had to get that knight out of the harm's way. I didn't see another way to do it. Oh, I could have brought this pawn up. That might have been a good thing. So I'm going to castle here. And then I'll be able to start getting my pieces out. So I can go here. And then my next move, I could go here or there or there or there. So it doesn't really help me a lot. But I have my eye on this weak pawn. Surely he's going to see that. Then I could get this other knight out. All right, I'm going to go here. That knight is protected now by a pawn, and he does that. Very smart on his part. I'm going to... let's move these pawns up. Impulse move. I didn't check capture threat analysis. Of course, this bishop is unprotected. And I can either protect it, I can move this rook over and protect it, or I can move it out of the way. I can move it back here. What else can I do? I could go right here and make him move his rook. I like that idea. I can't move this anywhere. Well, I can move it there. It's cool. I can move this up now if I want to and start playing it with a corridor. I can't do a lot with that because of this pawn. I can move it up one. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move. Oh, I can't do that. I'm going to move here and trouble his rook that way. Oh, look, he can't. He's made it. All right. I didn't calculate that very well. All right, so I'm going to move my rook over and protect my bishop. And now he does that. Very, very amazing. So moving that pawn up wasn't a good idea. I'm going to move this back. And he does that. I'm going to get my king out of the way, since obviously it caused trouble to have it that way. And this pawn is protected. But I can start bringing this pawn up. I think I'll start advancing this pawn. And he's after my knight. It's okay. I have a bishop and a rook on the knight. So let me go through the checks, captures, and threats. I'm going to move this pawn up. Keep moving it up, see what I can do. And that rook isn't doing much, protecting this pawn there, but it's on my king's side, so it's a problem. I can move this knight here, get captured by his rook. I can take that pawn and get captured by his rook. Here would be captured there. So I can't do a lot of things with this particular knight, except leave it there. And if I move my knight, he can take my rook for free. So I really think if I go here and protect my rook, that's probably a good thing, because then if something happens here, I'm good. And then that's going to keep advancing this pawn. Oh, that wasn't a good idea. I should advance this pawn. So that was impulse. Okay, so there's that. So now he has a situation. I can go here and sacrifice my knight and get his rook. I love that idea. I can go here and help my pawn on its journey, because it's going to be discovered check here. I like that. So that's a cool thing. I like that. I don't know. Somebody I think calls that a skewer, because I get to skewer his rook. So he's not going to take my knight here. He could come here and put me in check, and then he could take my knight. He's probably thinking of skewering me now. All right, so I'm going to move my king over one. I want to avoid that possibility. And that was because I went through the checks, captures, and threats. Now he's doing that. Obviously a very good player. Certainly this pawn, but this pawn is protected by two pieces. All right, let's just do this. See what we can do. He comes up. So we can just keep going. See what he does. All right, so now we have a situation. I can go here and protect that pawn to a degree. I can go here and threaten his knight, which might be a good plan. And that gets my knight it's kind of unhappy. But I can put my knight over here and help with my pawn journey. Now he puts his bishop here. So as king, I don't have anything on this corridor. If I put the pawn up there, he's probably going to go right in front of it, and then I won't have a decent way to get a queen. Can't go there. That's not a good plan. So I can't move that there. So I get this. I don't have a decent way to get this out of the way. So if I go here, it protects this pawn. And he does that. I can come here and and he does that. Why didn't he take my pawn? That's odd. He should have taken my pawn. I don't have a way to exploit it. Oh, he's not going to let me get this pawn all the way up there to protect that pawn. Well, let's give it a try. Let's count that pawn a loss. Interesting. He still hasn't got rid of that pawn. I don't have a way to protect that pawn. So I can go here. And he took it. Which he should have taken it. I don't know why he didn't take it to begin with. I'm going to take that back. So I'm going to go ahead and stack my rooks here, I think. Impulse moves. I want to make sure I keep this protected. This king is in trouble if somebody, this square, I can't go here. If a rook gets on this square and I don't have it protected, it would be checkmate. Let's try this. And this. So he did take it. He's going to trade a rook and a bishop. And then he does that. Isn't that something? Oh, and he's going to get my knight. Oh, he's going to put me in checkmate. Shoot. All right. Have to do that. So I'm going to go take this pawn if I can. He should protect it. Good enough. That gives me a passed pawn. Sort of. So I can get this up there. Oh, I can take my rook over and start advancing the pawn. So this is a discovered check thing. That's not going to help. There we go. Let's do that. Well, look at that. So I can go here, and I think that I will be able to trade that for his rook. Here we go. All right, I have 3 power pieces left. I don't feel like taking credit for any of it because it didn't go as well as I wanted it to. And I'm making impulse moves, but we're almost done. And I didn't want to lose my knight. I don't know why. There's no reason not to lose the knight at this point. Doesn't matter. As all I'm going to do is go back and get a queen and then put him in check. So really all I have to do is make sure that he doesn't take my my rook. All right. So we don't need to finish up this game. We can just see. So to review what I covered here, embrace the learning process. Emphasize that losses are part of the journey for every chess player. Doesn't matter your level, and think about things that have happened in your past with chess games. I know that I had a chess play with one of my relatives on my wife's side, one of her brothers, and we played and got down to a point right about like this. Only I was the lone king, and I was just sure that I was going to be going to a stalemate. And instead, he got me down to a situation. I'll go ahead and finish this. Let's go ahead and contain the king here. I like to contain the king a little bit, if possible. Okay, so this, we can go here to contain the king. He should come up there like that. That's fine. So we'll just do that. And so now I'm going to go and get a queen. But I played my my brother-in-law, and it got down to the point he's going to make one last move, and I wanted to concede. And in his rule book, You don't concede. You play to the bitter end. So I didn't want to. And so I had one move I could make of my king. And I didn't want to finish the game. I didn't want to concede. And it was hilarious because... All right, so I'm going to put him in check. So let me show where I was at. So my king was here. His rook was there. It was my turn. And instead of me taking my turn, I said, I'm going to think about this. I thought about it for 20 minutes. That was just wrong. It was my ego getting in the way. So don't just let your ego get in the way and cause trouble for you. So that's a good thing. Watch out for your emotions. Do checks, captures, and threats. Breathe. Reflect. What can I learn from this, and stay positive. So that's a strategy game. I want to get ready, and I want to play a chess.com and see if I can advance my rating a little bit. It's they rated me at 400, and I've gone up like several games in a row, and I'm kind of embarrassed about it because I should have rated myself higher, I guess. I don't want to get in trouble with chess.com. I sent them a letter to let them know, that I hadn't played chess.com in a long time, because last time I did, it didn't go well. So I've been preparing and going through it. And you guys have been part of the journey. Your support is incredible, and I really, really appreciate your support. So once again, if I can get this guy up here. Here he is. So the thing to do is to don't beat yourself up if you lose. Instead, have some strategies. You come up with your own strategies. I've come up with some strategies here. Embrace the learning process. Keep your emotions in check. Realize that losses are important, and keep playing. So I hope this has been a benefit to you. Please let me know in the comments what you think. Have a fantastic day, and I'll check you later.